This is QTV News. I am Marietu Sidibe and thanks for joining us. Our top stories. President Sall Barrow vowed to strengthen Banjul-Dakar relations as they return from Nigeria's Democracy Day. NIA used lighter flame on UDP militants' private part. Cisse said 119 patients reported for treatment after severe torture. Jammeh Bazi assets forfeited as government reviews Commission's reports. GSSS celebrates 60th anniversary. GSSS bids farewell to more than 500 high school graduates. For more on this and other stories coming up, stay tuned. Presidents Macky Sall and Adama Barrow renewed their commitment to strengthening the bilateral ties between their governments and peoples. They were speaking during an interview with reporters shortly after arriving from attending Nigeria's Democracy Day in Abuja. Aliou Cisse reports.
The two leaders were received on arrival on Wednesday evening by the Gambia's Vice President Dr. Ezra Toure, ministers and security chiefs. The two inspected the guard of honor mounted by the security personnel before Macky Sall boarded his flight back to Dakar. The two presidents had made a trip to Nigeria together when Macky Sall stopped over in Banjul on Tuesday to pick up his Gambian counterpart to attend Nigeria's Democracy Day on the invitation of President Muhammad Buhari.
It's a very important day. Nigeria have enjoyed 20 years of uninterrupted democracy. I think this is a big example for Africa. If Nigeria, after what they have passed through, they have accepted democracy and celebrating it, I think it has given hope to Africa. So our president was very important because we are African president, and Nigeria is a big brother. If you see Nigeria embracing democracy, consolidating democracy, I think we Africans should support the idea. So that's why we are there as Africans, as brothers to Nigeria, to give them that support. And also it's good for the media. You know, Africa have embraced democracy and we are moving on.
Gambia and Senegal share a lot in common, and having you and your counterpart from Senegal traveling together, what does it symbolize?
I think this is a clear indication that the relationship is very, very strong. For the first time in the history of Gambia and Senegal, despite our relationship, despite the strong ties, this is the first time two presidents will travel together for a meeting. I think this is a clear indication that Gambia and Senegal have moved on. And I think, as I said earlier on, we will continue to consolidate this relationship. It's in the interest of Senegal and Gambia. And it's a must. We are the most important partners to each other. And I think it should be a sample to Africa, that Africa is moving on.
A good number of heads of state, including Paul Kagame of Rwanda and George Weah of Liberia, attended the event. Nigeria had previously celebrated its Democracy Day on May 29, the day General Olusegun Obasanjo was sworn in as a civilian president in 1999, bringing to a close military rule in Nigeria. President Muhammad Buhari changed the day to 12 June, a day of great political significance in Nigeria, because it was on this day in 1993 that elections were held for the first time since the 1983 military coup by Buhari himself toppling Sagari. The election of 12 June 1993, widely believed to have been won by Chief Abiola, was annulled by the incumbent General Babangida, plunging the country into a political crisis.
A big pride for Africa, particularly for West Africa, where many countries or all of our countries are moving on democracy, like Gambia, like Nigeria today, Senegal, and all other countries. So it is a good on our process for our development, because without democracy you cannot accede to democracy or emergency. So it was a pleasure for me to be in Abuja with President Barrow, traveling together. As he said, it is a very strong signal on our relationship and the relation between Gambia and Senegal.
According to analysts, Buhari's decision to mark 12 June as Democracy Day should be viewed as an attempt to placate the southwestern Nigerian state, which has always set aside the day to remember Abiola's stolen mandate and an annual election that many still believe as the country's freest and fairest in the history of Nigeria and democracy. Reporting for QTV News, I am Aliou Cisse.
Dr. Sheriff Alhaji Lamin Cisse, known to many as Dr. Cisse of Kololi Clinic, appeared on Thursday at the TRRC and testified on the victims he had attended in the aftermath of two incidents of 1996 and 1997 involving security officials and UDP supporters. Babukar C has more.
Dr. Cisse recalled the incident of September 1996 when he claimed to have been in the same vehicle with Ousainou Darboe, leader of the United Democratic Party, heading towards Banjul. As they approached Denton Bridge, they were informed that there was an incident at the bridge, thus they had to go back. They took the advice, he said, and drove back to the residence of the party leader at Pipeline. On the following day, around 10 a.m., patients with injuries from the Denton Bridge incident started coming in numbers. 119 subsequently registered, with the youngest age 16 and the eldest age 60. According to Dr. Cisse, out of the 119 victims, the case that stood out for him was of a 35-year-old young man who told that he had been tortured by the NIA using lighter flames on his private part and other severe forms of torture.
The boy, 35 years old, after the incident, he could not say what was the matter with him, just showed me his scars. And I made a note, scars so and so, so and so. But he didn't say the complete story. 3 days later he came. Even there, it was from his body language and so on that I thought he required further attention. And he had been, or allegedly, kidnapped by 4 men. His actual story was 4 NIA, but I'm just saying 4 men. 3 of them pinned him down against a wall. The 4th one came, tore his trousers off, exposed his penis, and put a lighter flame. Where the urine comes out is called the meatus. It's like a small opening. That's why the urine comes out. That's what sperm comes out. And that is the source of the ability to have an erectile penis to be able to perform sexual intercourse. In other words, to put a big dent in his manhood. He said, "Doctor, I have never experienced any pain like that in my entire life."
Another incident he recalled was of a UDP griot or a musician who he said was seriously beaten on the fingers and the chest, and after a few weeks died as a result of the severe torture by the security officers.
He was beaten very viciously because everyone knew by implication or by whatever that he was the musician extraordinary for the UDP. Before that, any other, but that everybody identified him as such, and so on. So he stood out. He was singled out from those, were occupants of the, I'm not sure which of the 2 main trucks. And from what I heard, they concentrated on his fingers because that's a dummy pain. Coincidentally, he also had chest injuries. When he came, in fact, we put him on a drip straight away. Resuscitation, antibiotics, and luckily, he improved the breathing and so on and so on. He was there 3 or 4 days until he felt better. In that instance, so they verified that he was under pressure to go home. This was the thing. He went home with medication, and we learned, I think a week or 2 later, that he died at home.
So yes, please. Do you believe that this musician died as a result of the injuries?
Absolutely, absolutely.
On the incident of June 1997, Dr. Cisse recalled the 6 individuals that came to his clinic on the 13th of June for medical treatment, telling him that they were tortured by the NIA. The said individuals were alleged to have been arrested on the 9th of June, tortured on the 11th of June, and reported to his clinic on the 13th of June. Babukar C, QTV News.
President Jammeh and Lebanese businessman Mohamed Bazi forfeit their assets to the state, according to the Attorney General at the press conference announcing the government's interim measures on recovering assets belonging to the former president and his associates. Alusisa reports.
The Jammeh Commission, in its report submitted to President Barrow, said it found, among other things, that former President Yahya Jammeh, either directly or through third parties, embezzled over $1 billion. On Wednesday, during a press conference, Attorney General and Justice Minister said the government has taken interim measures as part of its asset recovery efforts against Jammeh and close associates.
1. The immediate forfeiture to the state of all companies and their respective assets belonging to former President Jammeh upon the expiration on 17 June 2019 of the freezing order of the High Court. 2. The immediate forfeiture to the state of all movable and immovable assets, including developed and undeveloped landed properties, chattels, shares, and other acquisitions by former President Yahya Jammeh upon the expiration on 17 June 2019 of the freezing order of the High Court. 3. The immediate forfeiture to the state of all movable and immovable assets, including developed and undeveloped landed properties, chattels, shares, and other acquisitions by Mr. Mohamed Bazi, a close associate of former President Jammeh. And 4, the immediate forfeiture to the state of all monies in all frozen commercial bank accounts in the Gambia upon the expiration on 17 June 2019 of the freezing order of the High Court. All financial institutions in the country, especially the commercial banks, are hereby advised to take note of this action and announcement, which will soon be followed by correspondence specifically addressed to each of them.
President Barrow, according to the Justice Minister, has also approved the establishment of an interministerial task force comprising the Ministries of Justice, Finance, Local Government and Lands, and Tourism and Culture to handle all matters in relation to the interim measures and to deal especially with third-party interests in the properties acquired by former President Jammeh.
I am also inviting all those persons whose properties were acquired by former President Jammeh through a judicial sale by the Sheriff of the High Court to contact the Solicitor General or the Attorney General at the Ministry of Justice in person or through authorized third parties between 24th and 28th of June 2019. All other persons with claims over any of the properties of former President Jammeh are hereby advised to address their claims in writing to the Ministry of Justice by 28 June 2019 and to meanwhile desist from interfering with any of the said properties forfeited to the state.
Tambadou pleaded with the countries and international bodies with expertise in asset recovery to assist the country, saying the Gambia desperately needs assistance in this endeavor. He said Jammeh, who now lives in Equatorial Guinea, was served a notice by the Commission, but so far has not responded.
Well, he was given an opportunity to be heard. I think the Commission of Inquiry reached out and served him, I recall certainly, but he didn't take that opportunity, so we can't do much about that. But I think he was given the opportunity to be heard, certainly.
Reporting for QTV News, I am Aliou Cissé.
The Gambia Police Force on Thursday commemorated Police Day at its head office in Banjul. The event saw awards given to current and former police officers. Maria Tussar attended the ceremony.
The commemoration of the Police Day is considered one of the traditions of the police in recognition of their service to the community and their immense contribution as gallant men and women in uniform. Awards were given to them to commemorate the event. Some former police officers that had served the force with distinction were decorated with medals as a sign of recognition and appreciation for their tireless service to the community. The ceremony started off with a march past by police officers wearing both traditional colonial uniforms and modern ones. They were accompanied by the police band playing melodious tunes with flutes, tambourines, and even traditional drumming. The Deputy Inspector General of Police, Ibrahim Abba, gave a speech on behalf of the Inspector General. In his speech, he paid tribute to all the police officers. He went on to explain the selection process for which the medals and the certificates were awarded.
This day is also an opportunity for the police administration to recognize officers who have served with distinction and decorate them with medals of honor and merit for long service and good conduct. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, I wish to mention that the selection process for this awarding of certificates and medals was thoroughly done. And in order to ensure it is representative and fair, we ask all supervisors countrywide to nominate officers deserving to be awarded medals today.
Minister of Interior, Ibrahim Mbalo, urged Gambians to be law-abiding citizens and to help safeguard the law.
I take this opportunity to urge all citizens to be law-abiding and not to take matters into their hands when aggrieved, rather to seek redress through the lawful means such as filing a complaint at the nearest police station or filing a civil suit in courts, depending on the nature of your case. I have no doubt that the officers or court officials will do everything in their powers to ensure justice is served.
Decorated current and former servicemen expressed their delight to be recognized by the Gambia Police Force for their service and invaluable contribution to the Gambia Force.
I joined the service in gendarme. I was a gendarme before. In 1982, April 4th, 1982. The department that I served until I retire has given me a concession, and I'm given accorded with the rest of which I appreciate, definitely. Since I'm a retired man, my institution has recognized the number of years I served with them, and they said I deserve to have a meritorious award, which definitely I cannot pay them.
The police are responsible for ensuring public safety, security and maintenance of peace by enforcing the law. Reporting for QTV News, I am Maria Tussar.
The Gambia Senior Secondary School celebrates its 60th anniversary from its establishment on 13th June 1959. While celebrating this event, the school is also bidding farewell to more than 500 high school graduates who have recently started their West African Senior Certificate examinations. The event was attended by students, staff, parents, guardians, and public officials. Momodu Lamin Choi reports.
The Gambia Senior Secondary School celebrates its 60th anniversary since the then Methodist Boys High School and the Girls High School were merged in 1959. The school, founded by the Westland missionaries in 1876, was reopened in 1898 as the Methodist Boys High School, and in 1915, the Associated Girls High School was opened. The school was called Gambia High School until 1994, when the Gambia's education policy was changed. Today, it is the Gambia Senior Secondary School. More than 1,000 people graced this special occasion. While some were there to celebrate with the school's Diamond Jubilee, others were present with pride to join their family and loved ones who are bidding farewell to what is now their alma mater. This day is a milestone for the graduating students who, upon receipt of their results, will open a fresh page of their lives, either in the field of academics or the field of work.
This means a lot to me, because I feel opportune to witness this great occasion, which is the 60th year anniversary of the school, because it was celebrated in the Golden Jubilee and now we are celebrating the Diamond Jubilee. So I'm very, very happy today to witness this occasion.
Fadu Kebe, the assistant outgoing head girl, expresses her delight at witnessing this occasion and hopes to further her studies after successfully making it from her WAS exams. For guest speaker, Hannah Seka Sen, This is an answer to the call of her alma mater to inspire the graduating high school students. She also dilated on her academic experience while sending a message of encouragement to the young graduating students.
Most of you are unsure of what you really want to do and haven't figured out what you're passionate about. Finding what you're passionate about is a journey in itself. Don't be frustrated if you don't feel like you know yet. Keep trying new things.
For his part, the principal of this school, Lamin MB Jaite, says although it was a challenge in the history build-up of the school, Gambia Senior Secondary School has endured to reach the level it is today. The double celebration was also marked with display of talents from students, creating an electrifying atmosphere in celebrating the history of one of the first high schools in the Gambia. For QTV News, I am Mohamed Lamin Choi.
A 5-day training on peace building wrapped up Tuesday at Curriculum Hall in Kanifing. The Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education, with support from ECOWAS, organized the training for workers in the education sector, especially teachers. Maria Tussar reports.
The training seeks to build on the notion that peace is a process of acquiring values and knowledge, developing attitudes and a behavior, and was mainly aimed at teachers to encourage them. It was organized to promote peace building in their schools and communities. At the end of the 5 days training, the ministry anticipates that the participants from diverse groups in the educational sector will make the best use of the knowledge gained and spread key information on peace building picked up during the training. Demba Okan, Senior Curriculum Development Officer and Head of Action Research for MOPSI, spoke on the expectations of the ministry on the training.
Our next steps and expectations are the pool of trainers we have trained today to be able to go back to the regions, come with their strategic plans, being informed by the research findings of the conflict analysis for peace building education and advocacy for the Gambia, and do a step-down training of teachers, in all their schools. That is our expectation. So the concept of peace have been built into the schools, and it trickled down into the classroom, so that the children will be able to live together and understand those concepts.
The Secretary of the Conference of Principals for Senior Secondary Schools and Principal of Muslim Senior Secondary School, Lamin K. Marong, says the level of indiscipline by students in schools is on the increase, and this training on peace building is very good for the educational system.
Actually brought us here to train us in order to be able to go back to the schools, to be able to cascade the information that we are able to get at the skills, to be able to have peace in our system. As most people can see, the level of discipline is increasing in schools, and if you look at it, maybe people are not even peaceful with themselves, in the household, in the communities, in the larger society. So if a package like this has been developed and they want to bring it down to the school to catch them early, I think it is really a very good move, and we are willing to support it to make sure that we live in a very peaceful society, a society that some of us know of in the early 70s and 80s.
Aminata Jaite, the country representative for the Open University in the Gambia, says this training takes us away from the passive mode of peace to the active mode. She also recommended that the manuscript on peace building should get to the President of the Gambia, as peace is imperative in good governance.
Look into other areas of the manual that deals with, for instance, governance. This is very relevant to all of us. And to be honest, I would really recommend that this document gets to His Excellency, the #1 citizen of this country, but alongside all the other, cabinet members, governors, and everybody. Because it's not to say that this is going to be something new, but it would serve as a reminder, especially the theme on governance. It talks about promoters of good governance. It talks about inclusive government, separation of powers, and I think these are very, very relevant to us as a nation at this moment.
Reporting for QTV News, I am Maria Tussar.
In sports, the Gambia defeated Morocco 1-0 in a friendly football match played in Marrakesh on Wednesday. The Scorpions' win followed their earlier victory against Guinea last week. Morocco are one of the African Cup of Nations pre-tournament favorites. Mamadou Gajaga was keeping an eye on the game, and here is his report.
It may have been a poor display from the Scorpions, but who cares about tactics when you win? Morocco dominated possession, but it didn't take long for Moussa Barrow to score from a deflection. Coach Tom Samfier's defensive tactics were once again put to the test and seemed to have worked until late on when the hosts were awarded a penalty after Pamoudou Diagne handled the ball in the box. Second half substitute Fajir Faikal stepped up and missed. Modou Diop saved to seal victory for the Scorpions. Morocco will be utterly disappointed with the result, given the numerous chances they had in the game. The Atlas Lions are ranked 45th in the latest FIFA ranking, while the Scorpions are weighed down in 163rd in the world rankings. Morocco are among the favourites to win this month's Africa Cup of Nations. For the Gambia, this is a morale-boosting win, following their shock failure to qualify for the Africa Cup of Nations. Mamadou Gajaga, QTV News.
Before we end this bulletin of the news, let's take a quick look at our main stories. Presidents Macky Sall and Adama Barrow renewed their commitment to strengthening the bilateral ties between their governments and peoples. They were speaking during an interview with reporters shortly after arriving from attending Nigeria's Democracy Day in Abuja. Dr. Sheriff Alhaji Lamin Sise, known to many as Dr. Sise, of Kololi Clinic, appeared on Thursday at the TRRC and testified on the victims he had attended in the aftermath of two incidents of 1996 and 1997 involving security officials and UDP supporters. President Jammeh and Lebanese businessman Mohamed Bazi forfeit their assets to the state, according to the Attorney General at the press conference announcing the government's interim measures on recovering assets belonging to the former president and his associates. That's all we have for you in this edition of the news. Join us tomorrow for more news. Thank you for watching.